Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today we are going to be talking about the Valorant Masters 3 for Valorant. Obviously it completed basically a couple hours ago where I am. So I guess we'll just have a talk about it. So I'm going to go over I guess maybe each group and then I'll give my opinions of each team in that group. So first going to start with Group A. And Group A was basically the death group. So they also have the two European teams, Ascended, Supermassive Blaze. They have the Korean team of Vision Strikers and the Southeast Asian team of Paper Rex. Now just remember, Paper Rex was the only team that represented Southeast Asia because Brain Esports couldn't make it due to visa issues, which is actually pretty sad. I do wish they were there, but luckily, an organization picked up all the players from Brain Esports and now they're back in, which is amazing. So let's have a look here. So Vision Strikers against versus Paper Rex. That was the first match, if I remember correctly, and they did pretty good. Paper Rex did not bad. Obviously, so we've got a Haven. It was 13-9, and Icebox. It was 13-11. It was very, very, very close. Forsaken did a really did do a really good job. I was watching Haven and kind of looked like he was throwing a bit, but it did pay off a bit. Obviously, everyone from Viz Strikers did amazing, especially Buzz on Icebox. My God, he popped off. But everyone in Viz Strikers did a fantastic job, and that obviously advanced them to the winners against either Supermassive Blaze or Ascend. And I was really expecting it to be a pretty close game. It kind of was, anyways. But here in Bind it was 13-5, and then Ascent it was 13-9. Still relatively close in Bind, sorry, so in Ascent, but Supermassive Blaze just they did not show up at all. I still thought like Izzy was still very very good. I really was expecting more from Turco. Turco did obviously perform very very well in Ascent. He clutched up a lot of the rounds that I thought as well that SMB didn't deserve, but so it was a great performance by obviously by Ascend, but it wasn't really enough though. For elimination, it was Supermassive Blaze versus Paper X, and Supermassive Blaze did win. However, it was very interesting that Paper X won Supermassive Blaze's pick, which was Haven. So that kind of surprised me there. That kind of get me off guard. And then obviously Breeze and Split. It was very easy at Breeze, 13-2. Very easy there. And then Split 13-10. It was a lot more closer here though, but still Paper X was unpacking. And then the winners here, Vision Strikers was not that surprising as well. Buzz just carried in Haven. And then Icebox. Icebox was pretty close. Mostly, yeah. So Icebox was very, very close, but it went to Vision Striker's way, and then Ascend versus Supermassive Blaze, so who was going to qualify? It was very close, but it was Ascend beating Supermassive Blaze. So their performance, Paper Rex kind of surprised me of how close some of the games were, especially against Vision Strikers, and like at some point they were actually leading in Icebox. They had like a commendable lead. I was very surprised. I was cheering for Paper X to win it, but that did not obviously happen. Ascend versus and Viz Strikers. Obviously, no one really. I was expecting them to qualify to the playoffs, obviously, so I'm not that surprised there. For Ascend, yeah, I guess it was pretty good. And also the best plays, both very very good. It was basically against those two teams of who was going to make it, um, make it to the playoffs. So I'm not really that surprised there. Let's move on to Group B. And sorry, Group B didn't really have a lot of surprises other than the decider, Crew Esports versus Vivo Keyed. I guess we'll just I'll brush over Team Envy. Obviously Team Envy was part of the weakest group, in my opinion. Envy blitzed through the bracket, defeating Vivo Kid and Crew Esports very, very quickly to qualify. I obviously thought Center Division was not going to do well, and I was kind of right with that. They lost to Crew Esports, and they lost to Vivo Kid. I did predict that as well, so I'm very, very happy about that. For the decider, I really thought Vivo Kid was gonna win against Korea Esports, but this actually would be my first time to really look at the matches. But my God, yeah, 13-11 and split, 13-11 again in Haven. Like I don't know what happened to Vivo Kid. I have no idea what happened to them, but Crew did a very, very good job against Vivo Kid. So Korea Esports also qualified for playoffs. So that was a great performance by them. They should be ecstatic that they made it to playoffs. They should be they should be really, really happy. As for Zeta Division Vivo Kid, I'm pretty disappointed with Vivo Kid. I really thought they were actually going to win against Crew, so I'm pretty disappointed of them. As for Zeta Division, I'm not that surprised that they performed this badly. Um, just I wasn't that surprised, and it just yeah, just wasn't surprised really. I felt like Japan is the weakest region in my opinion, followed by Southeast Asia, and then maybe Latin America's next. Just I'm not surprised by anything. Group C though actually kind of changed my mind of Japan, as Crazy Raccoon did lose to Gambit twice, but they did win against Havan Liberty. Okay. I guess I will talk about. So first, I'll talk about Gambit. Them losing to 100 Thieves really worried me because I wasn't expecting anyone to um to win against Gambit. I was not expecting it at all. So when 100 Thieves somehow brought it back to win against Gambit, that surprised me. I was also watching it as well. My God, did it surprise me. I was cheering for 100 Thieves, I'll be honest. I have to say that. So it surprised me a lot. So I was really happy about that. Havan was, I think, alongside Zeta Division, was the weakest team. And also Paper Rex, I guess, as well. But I guess we'll just have a look at the matches that they played. So 13-3. 13-3 for Ascent. So there's 100 Thieves versus Havan. So Havan. Hey, Havan Liberty. There we go. And 13-6 in Icebox. For Crazy Raccoon, 13-9 and 13-8. So the Crazy Raccoon match was a lot closer, but still, Havan Liberty was possibly the weakest team alongside maybe Z Division, but at least Z Division actually made it a pretty competitive in against Korea's was. But still, pretty disappointed in Havan Liberty. Like the compatriot, like Viva Kid, they obviously went against a Japanese team. Why didn't Havan Liberty win against a Japanese team? I know Crazy Raccoon, they obviously had experience of being on land matches, but still, bloody Christ's sake, like I really thought they were going to be in the decider round against 100 Thieves because I predicted them to win against Gambit. Well, sorry, to lose against Gambit, sorry. But yeah, Havan should just yeah, not that great for them. As for Crazy Raccoon, it's a pretty good achievement as well. They obviously made it to the decider round, so great on by them. And Gambit, obviously not that surprising that they qualified. If they did even qualify, that would probably be a failure, like an absolute failure for Gambit. As for Group D, now the Group D was a bit different because Bren Esports couldn't make it, so it was just a round robin match. You know what I'm going to be talking about. Sentinels versus G2. That's what I'm mainly going to be talking about. But I'll obviously brush all upon to F4Q as well. Actually, I'll brush on to F4Q now. F4Q, I was not expecting anything from them, obviously. I thought they were just going to lose every single map, and they did. Well, they did take two maps. Well, one of G2, then one of Sentinel, so not that surprising there. But still, yeah, I'm not that surprised that F4Q really lost, like, just fell off. What I'm pretty disappointed about, well, not really disappointed, but what I was kind of expecting was, well, Sentinels obviously again losing the map of G2. I wasn't that surprised about that. What I was pretty surprised about was G2 versus Sentinels in the second match. I guess we'll also have a look at the first match as well. So first have a look at the first match. And for the split, it was 13-6 at Sentinel's way, then 13-8 at G2's way. This is, yeah, an Icebox and then Haven 13-8. So not really any surprising there. I feel like Icebox was definitely one of the weakest maps for Sentinel, so I'm not really that surprised there. But G2 did perform very well, especially in the next match against them. If we have a look here, this is the next match, a 2-0. Kellogg's, I just want to say, pop the hell off. He did a fantastic job, just ripping apart Sentinels. 13-3 in Icebox. 13-3. Sentinels didn't even have a chance. And look, you see it's like Zoms 1-15. 1-15. And then split here. 13-11. It was much more closer here, but still, G2 did a very good job against Sentinels, obviously just picking apart them up, reading into them as well. So I'm not really that surprised, but that Icebox match is basically unacceptable. For if you're a Sentinels fan, it is absolutely unacceptable of how badly they played. Yeah, Shazam got 11-14, Tens got 10-14, but it was disappointing and pretty unacceptable of how badly they played. But G2, G2 did a fantastic job though. So G2 was they obviously did the homework. After their match against Sentinels, they obviously did their homework. They studied upon them. It was great job by G2. I do have to give them props about that. It was a fantastic job by them. Obviously, like G2 also picked Icebox, knowing that Sentinels, this is like the weakest map. And then Sentinels picked Split. I think they were, so I think Haven was banned by G2, which also makes sense. But yeah, so G2 did a very good job, but completely, well, kind of unacceptable by Sentinels. But it is better for obviously a team like Sentinels to lose, because obviously they've been so dominant, especially in NA. So obviously now, because they've lost, they can obviously come back a lot stronger. So obviously, like, Sentinels is still possibly like one of the best teams in NA. Shouldn't really give them a lot of flack about it, even though I kind of did there, but meh. But still, Sentinels, still a very good team. They're also one of the best in NA. And they'll come back a lot stronger for Valorant Champions. You know? So now with the bracket all done, with the group stages, let's have a look at the playoffs. It was very interesting. So here it is. As you can already tell, you can already tell who won. I don't really care about that. Okay. So the first match was Vision Strikers versus Gambit. And obviously, if you saw my video that I did about my predictions, and you saw the comment that I pinned, yeah, when Gambit won against Vision Strikers, I kind of knew that my bracket was boomed straight away. It was just destroyed instantly when they won. But I also said in my video as well, if Vision Strikers and Sentinels doesn't make it past quarterfinals, that's basically a fail for them. Because they are the powerhouse of NA and Korea. Gambit is obviously another powerhouse team. So I also in my video as well, If I won't be surprised if another team, so like if the team I didn't pick, like if Ascend won, Sentinels and Vision Strikers won. Sorry, yeah. I won't be surprised if like another team won because I predicted 100 Thieves to win, Sentinels and then Vision Strikers. I wasn't surprised that Envy like I won't be surprised if Envy won. I won't be surprised if Gambit won, especially like Gambit because Gambit is a great team. But obviously, it still doesn't change the fact that if you're Vision Strikers or Sentinels, you need to get past quarterfinals. If you don't pass the quarterfinals, then that's just a fail in my books. You're basically the powerhouse team of your respective regions. And obviously, the Vision Strikers and Gambit match, that was pretty close. I'm just going to have a look at both of these matches. It was very, very close. Buzz obviously popped the hell up, including Nats. I mean, is anyone really surprised that Nats popped up? See, like 13-2. 13-2 in bind. And that was Vision Striker's pick. Gambit just wiped the floor with Vision Strikers. However, Vision Strikers did came back and beated Gambit in their map pick. Then Icebox was the last one, and it was back to Gambit Esports. 13-8. Let's have a look at NB versus Sentinels. Yay, obviously popping off like always, like he always does. Haven was very close, 15-13. You know, like Sentinels was legit on a run from round 20 to round 25. Then Envy came in and just wiped the floor with them in 26 to 28. Split 13-7. It was a pick for Sentinels. I guess it was kind of close, especially in the first half. But in the second half, it was not even close at all. So yeah. And also, this is the first time I've seen this 10's also bottom fragging. Who knew? Obviously, he was playing on Raze, and he's not really that strong on Raze, but that doesn't really deny the fact that everyone from Envy did a great job. Especially Ye, Marv, they popped off. Victor as well, Crashes, FNS, obviously the IGL, and I guess also the coach for them as well because their coach couldn't make it to Berlin. So great job as well by Team Envy. Just like I said about G2. Knowing what they're gonna do every single time. So that was a great job by those two teams of Gambit and Envy. As for the other matches, 100 Thieves versus Ascend. This is another comeback. So look here. See, look. Round 20 to round 26, it was basically match point for Ascend, and somehow 100 Thieves brought it back from round 20 to then overtime around 26. I don't know how the hell they did that, but they did, which was surprising me. And Nitro's jet is nasty. It's a very, very good jet. I think it's the first time that I've seen it, so yeah, I don't know if he's actually played jet in the past, but it was the first time I've seen Nitro on jet. CNED obviously popping off as well, Starzar and Zeke. Burn Cold always bottom fragging like always. Not anymore in this one, but you know what I mean. 13-8 for Haven, and then 13-9 for Ascend. So the first match went to Ascend, and then the next two maps went to 100 Thieves, which qualified them to go to the semifinals against Envy. As for G2 versus Crucible, it's not that surprising here. I wasn't surprised that they lost 13-9 in Icebox and 13-7 in Haven. Not that surprising there. Let's have a look at the semifinals now. Envy versus 100 Thieves. Pretty close. Haven 13-5. Okay, it wasn't really that close, but still. In Haven. And then 13-8 for Ascend. And then finally, Gambit versus G2. Gambit basically just wiped the floor. 13-10 in Breeze, so it was pretty close there. But then Icebox, 13-0. The first ever 13-0 in international Valorant. 13-0. I was shocked of how dominant Gambit were in Icebox against G2. Look, none of these, like, just none of them obviously had a positive KDR. None of them. It was shocking just how dominant Gambit were. Like also like didn't Nats like just chill and spawn and just killed Kellogg's and Nuki or Nukai? I still don't know how you say his name. Is it Nuki? I think it's Nuki. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of a dumbass. Jesus Christ. So it was again a NA versus EU, well kind of a CIS this time, right? Grand finals. And it was Gambit 3-0 in Team Envy. It was very, very close. So I watched Bind and it was very, very close, 13-15. It was possible for Team Envy to come back. Haven 13-11 and then split 13-9. It was still relatively close, so Envy should be very, very happy with themselves about this result. Even though they didn't win, it's still a very, very good result by them. So for like the teams, 100 Thieves did very, very well. Ascend did okay. I don't think they were expecting 100 Thieves to mostly come back. Who was it? Was it like Starzo who like said NA who in the in like after the first map? I think that was correct. Envy, a fantastic job. I think they should be very, very happy with their results. Sentinels, well, both Sentinels and Vision Strikers are kind of the same. They definitely need to do some work. I feel like the meta for them also wasn't great for them as well. And also because the Berlin, the Masters Berlin was a lot higher ceiling than and then Reykjavik. So I'm not surprised that they struggled, but I really expected them to be at least in the semifinals. But bit of unlucky there. Moon Strikers once again just hit the level ceiling was just at an all-time high. Obviously they weren't at Reykjavik, but Fish Strikers just like Sentinels semifinals would be good. Gambit did a fantastic job throughout this whole um throughout this whole tournament really. They did a fantastic job, so I'm not that surprised that they made it to the grand finals, but in dominant fashion like this, it was amazing to see. G2, not too bad, obviously. Pretty good. They did do a very good job, especially against Sentinels in the groups. Um, it was unlucky that they obviously versed up against Gambit. Bit unlucky there, but G2 should also be happy with their result. I think the team that should be very, very happy is Crew Esports. Yeah, Gambit won the grand finals, but no one was expecting Crew Esports to have gone this far into the tournament. So if you're a Crew Esports fan, and obviously like someone who follows Latin America a lot, you should be astounded with this result from Crew Esports. Yes, they lost to G2, but it's still a great, great job by this team. It's a fantastic job. Anyways, I'm done rambling about Masters Berlin. Let's have a look at my predictions and see how badly I fucked up. So first have a look at the playoffs. I got 100 Thieves in G2, right? As you can tell, I didn't get Sentinels and Vision Strikers. I got Sentinels to win against 100 Thieves. Well, 100 Thieves did win, but meh. And Vision Strikers versus G2. I got G2 to lose, so meh. I guess that's kind of right. And then Grand Finals, I got none of that correct. Um, so that was pretty shitty for me. Group A wasn't too bad. I got Paper Rex. Well, I got Vision Strikers correct. Supermassive Blaze coming in. Nope. I did get Paper Rex to be eliminated, but I predicted Supermassive Blaze to qualify. This one I was very close of getting everything right. I was very, very close. Team Envy, yep, got that right. Curry Sports winning, I got that right. Vivo Kid, got that right. I really thought Vivo Kid was going to just win against Curry Sports. Group C, this group C was kind of shitty for me. Yeah, I got Gambit 100 Thieves winning. Elimination, I thought Havan Liberty was really going to win against Crazy Raccoon. I got that wrong. God. Havan Liberty did so shit. I did get Havan Liberty to, well, okay. I got the qualified teams right. I just need to swap them around, obviously. And Group D, that obviously didn't exist. I only got 115 points from it, so I guess not too bad compared to people who got 0 points. So I get, yeah, I guess not too bad for me. 115 points, not too bad. But Masters Berlin is done and dusted. Let's now have a look at the circuit points. So the circuit points, obviously, that is the standings if you make it to Champions or LCQ. So this is obviously all the regions: EMEA, North America, Brazil, Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. We're gonna have a look at that one by one, and then we're gonna be having a look at the LCQ. I know this video is gonna be very, very long. I'll obviously put on chapters if you want to skip to a specific one. Let's have a look at the EMEA first. So obviously with Gambit winning in Berlin, they have already advanced themselves into champions, which means that Ascent and Fnatic, they're going to be going to champions without being in the LCQ. So other teams who are going to be in the LCQ: G2, Liquid, Supermassive Blaze, Oxygen, Footballist, Guild, and Forza. Those are the 10 teams. Well, I guess 9 teams actually. Well, 10 teams? Yeah, I guess 10 on 9 teams. I can't count. Whatever. Those teams are going to be well in the LCQ. I really can't count. Whatever. I don't care. So Ascent and Fnatic, they're already going to be in champions. Obviously one team will be advancing from the LCQ. Let's have a look now at NA. North America, Sentinels and Team Envy, they've already locked themselves into champions. 100 Thieves, V1, FaZe Clan, Xset, Luminosity, Cloud9 Blue, Genji, and Rise. Those are going to be teams which are going to be competing for that last spot in LCQ. So, yeah, if Team Envy did win, then TSM would have been in LCQ. So basically, TSM, NRG, and Box Immortals, their season in Valorant 2021 is over. It is done. Unless they're competing like some minor in some minor tournaments. But for major tournaments, done. That is it. Obviously, we will have a look at the LCQ teams very, very soon. Next up, it is Brazil. As for Brazil, Team Vikings and Keyed Stars, which is actually Vivo Keyed, they're going to be in champions. 4 teams which are going to be in the LCQ: Sharks, Havan, Furia, and Gamelanders. It's not that surprising there, obviously. Obviously, those are the teams which were definitely in front of the rest for now. Obviously, for in Brazil. There we go. It took me a long time to spit that out. So not that surprising there. Japan, only Crazy Raccoon has advanced themselves into champions. 2 teams only from Japan will be going to the LCQ. For Asia, Zeta Division and Reject. Those are the only 2 teams. Northishan was, well, I don't know how you say it. Northishan? I don't know. What they were well, not that close. If Crazy Raccoon somehow, well, if Crazy Raccoon's Zeta Division somehow made it to playoffs, it would have been winnable for them, but nope. Next up, it is Korea Vision Strikers. The only team will be going to champions. Only 5 points of a difference. If Vision Strikers didn't make it past the group stages, Newturn will be in champions. But Newturn and F4Q, they'll be competing for their last spot in the APAC region. For Southeast Asia, XN and Team Secret are 2 teams who will be in champions. Team Secret is the core team of Brand Esports, if you're wondering, and they broke a tiebreaker off PaperX because I think it's because I think maybe because of Team Secret having 20-30 points, I guess. Well, it's basically 50, but I think they got points before PaperX, so I think that's how that calculated, I'm guessing. I don't actually know. But PaperX still has a chance of making it to the LCQ with Full Sense and Boom Esports. Those are 3 teams who will be competing in APAC. And finally, for Latin America, Crew Esports obviously made it to champions. Is anyone surprised about that? 6 Karma, Astrals, Infinity, and Laser. Those are the 4 teams which will be competing in the LCQ for South America. So let's now have a look at the LCQ now. North America will start off. Obviously, those are the teams from North America, and two from the Australian region, Order and Peace. Obviously, I had a look at the teams who will be competing, and I really thought it was going to be Order and Wildcard Gaming. But no, Peace somehow won against Team Bliss and Wildcard to make it to the grand final, and they were very, very close to actually winning against Order. Basically, Order. Imagine Order as the Sentinels of Australia, or the Gambit of Australia, or the Viz Strikers of Australia. You know, basically the very, very dominant team. Those two teams will be competing against the North American teams. So I have a look at EMEA. G2, Liquid, Supermassive Blaze, Oxygen, Footballers, Guild, Forza, obviously those teams. And there's going to be one team coming from Strike Arabia. So it'll be actually in offline. So they start in 2 days' time, and the grand finals will be in 5 days' time. These are obviously the teams who will be competing for that one spot to be in the LCQ for EMEA. If I had to give my predictions, probably Fox Gaming in my opinion. I feel like Fox Gaming is the strongest one, but anything can happen. APAC is next. I'll have a look at APAC. PaperX, Full Sense, Boom, Esports, Division, Reject, Newton, F4Q, they're all advanced. Global Esports has came from the Valorant Conquerors Championship. And obviously had all the other regions like let's say like India, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and then a wild card entry. But Global Esports won. This is obviously the same team that has SK Rossi, who you might know as people thinking that he is Forsaken, that cheating Indian player from CS:GO who use Word.exe. And two teams coming from China. I don't know how I don't know how this is gonna work, but it's gonna work somehow. I don't actually know how though, but I'll see though. And finally, the last one in South America. Obviously, we got the 4 Brazilian teams and the 4 Latin American teams versing each other for that only one spot at Champions. And we'll first have a look at Champions before I head off. These are the teams who will be competing for the title of the best Valorant team in the world. It will be happening at Berlin, I think at the same place. So obviously these teams have a chance. So we know, so we know that these teams we already know they're going to be in. I'm so happy that Team Secret is back. So hopefully we get to see him. We get to see them in LAN once again. And yeah, so that's really about it. I know it's a very, very long video, and I do apologize for that, but I just want to get everything all done and dusted for what's coming out to Valorant Champions. And obviously, when the LCQ when the LCQ ends for all of these 4 regions, I will be talking about them. So yeah, that's really it for me now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.